The day Earth tilted was the day time screamed. Because imagine waking up to a sunrise that rose from the wrong horizon. Imagine shadows crawling uphill instead of down. Imagine the sky itself groaning like a wounded god as the planet shuddered and history snapped in half. Because this is not a myth, not a metaphor, but the forbidden memory buried beneath calendars, scriptures, and stone. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll understand why every civilization reset its clocks and erased the same day from existence, and why even now, as you listen, something ancient is listening back. Long before recorded history, before Egypt named its kings, and before Sumer pressed its first wedge into clay, Earth spun differently. Its axis stable, its seasons predictable, its skies ruled by constellations that no longer exist. And humanity, if we can even call them that, thrived under that older sky, a world where cities of black stone and crystal engines rose along coastlines now drowned, where towering beings walked openly among humans, giants not of fairy tales but of engineered flesh, guardians or masters depending on which forbidden tablets you read. And these beings understood something modern science still fears to admit. The Earth is not just a rock in space, it is a machine. Deep beneath the crust, where molten iron flows like blood, ancient technology slept, a planetary engine designed to regulate spin, climate, and time itself, built not by primitive tribes, but by a civilization so advanced its ruins look like natural formations to the untrained eye. And when you see polygonal stones in Peru or impossible cuts in Baalbek, you're looking at the fingerprints of those engineers. Then came the fracture, the moment all forbidden histories describe with different names. The day the sun stood still, the night the stars fell, the long darkness, the sky turning over. Because something went wrong, or something was done intentionally. Ancient giants, the watchers of old texts, had warned that the engine could not be activated again, that its harmonic balance was failing. But power always seduces. And according to fragments found beneath the sands of the Empty Quarter and under Antarctic ice, a final attempt was made to save or dominate the world. The machine awakened. The earth screamed. Mountains folded like cloth. Oceans leapt from their basins. The axis lurched, not gently, but violently, tilting the planet by degrees that rewrote the path of the sun, shattering the old calendar, killing entire hemispheres in minutes as ice flash-froze forests and firestorms erased coastlines. And in that moment, time itself broke, because every civilization that survived would later record a long day, a missing sunrise, a year with no summer, and a terror so absolute it became religion. Giants fell. Some turned to stone where they stood, others dragged into the sea, their bones now mistaken for myths or dinosaur fossils, while humans fled into caves and hidden places, carrying with them fragments of knowledge they were sworn never to use again. And this is where the story gets dangerous, because modern discoveries are pulling that knowledge back into the light. In the last century alone, scientists have found mammoths frozen mid-step with undigested food in their mouths, trees flash-frozen while still standing, magnetic anomalies that prove the poles shifted suddenly, not gradually, and ancient structures aligned to stars that no longer rise where they should. And when you connect these dots, the official story collapses. Even our timekeeping betrays the lie. Why do ancient calendars disagree with modern astronomy by days? Why do myths from China to Mesoamerica describe the same impossible event? Why does the Bible whisper that the sun stopped, the Popol Vuh speak of a sky that fell, and Hindu texts warn of a world reset by fire and ice? Because after the tilt, survivors rebuilt in fear, erasing the truth, turning engineers into gods and disasters into divine punishment. And as writing returned, so did control. Because if people knew the earth could be altered, they would ask who still holds the key. Hidden places remain, sealed vaults under the Giza Plateau, metallic chambers beneath the Andes, sonar anomalies under the Pacific that look disturbingly artificial, and classified reports of Antarctic no-fly zones where compasses spin and timekeeping devices malfunction, places where the old machine might still hum, waiting. And now, in our age of satellites and particle colliders, we are dangerously close to repeating the same mistake, poking the planetary core, manipulating magnetic fields, dismissing ancient warnings as superstition. Even as clocks drift, the pole migrates faster every year, and the planet trembles with unexplained resonance. This channel exists to echo what was buried, so if the story is gripping you, if your pulse is rising, quietly like the ancients did, tap like, share this warning with those who still think history is complete, and stay with me until the end, because the most terrifying part is not what happened, but what never ended. Some texts say the tilt was only stabilized, not fixed, that the engine was shut down improperly, leaving the Earth in a state of slow decay, its balance held by rituals later mistaken for religion, structures aligned not for worship but for calibration, and when those structures fell into ruin, something began to drift. We see it now in climate chaos, in time anomalies pilots won't talk about, in satellites that need constant correction, and in dreams shared by people who have never met, dreams of a dark sun and a sky turning over once more. The unresolved truth is this: the day Earth tilted did not just change seasons, it reset humanity's memory, chained us to a shorter view of time, and buried a crime so vast it took the planet itself as a weapon. And as we uncover more, the same question the ancients feared returns. If Earth can be tilted once, it can be tilted again. And somewhere beneath our feet, beneath ice and ocean and silence, the machine that changed time itself may be waking. And if you want to follow these echoes before they vanish again, before the sky remembers how to fall, subscribe now to Echoes of Time, because history is not over. It is only waiting to repeat.